Hello, everybody. I'm Amber Janeski, producer and host with HAPS News. Today, we are live streaming from the Senda de Vida shelter in Reynosa, Mexico. The visual that you're seeing right now and what you're hearing is a group of Cuban men who have been held in the shelter are going to be crossing the river into McAllen, Texas for their asylum processing. We are joined by Victor Castillo, who is a journalist in McAllen, who's in Reynosa, helping us cover this incredibly important story. Hi, Victor. How are you doing?
Hello, Amber. It's great to be with HAPS News today. And basically, what you're looking at is 10 Cubans who have waited here 77 days for their
Wow.
asylum process, waiting on the Mexican side. And what you're looking at, they're going to board here the Mexican immigration van that's going to take them to the port of entry. ¿Cómo se siente?
Bien, de
Wow.
maravilla.
De maravilla.
Lo que hace falta es que saquen para que los hermanos...
Para que todo el mundo pueda, que llevamos muchos meses, llevamos más de 80 días aquí en espera aquí, todo.
He says he's been waiting here more than 80 days, just
Wow.
waiting for his turn. ¿Qué le dice a los demás cubanos?
Nosotros, ojalá que todos puedan llegar, toda la familia y eso, que estamos contentos y agradecidos.
He says he hopes all the families make it across as well. ¿Cómo se siente finalmente después de...?
Todo lindo, todo lindo. Todo bien, desesperado ya.
He's desperate. he's doing well. He says, ¿cómo está?
Felices, muy felices.
Casi está llorando, ¿no?
Imagínate, de emoción.
Yeah. He says he's crying. The tears are of emotion to finally have his turn. ¿Cómo?
That's incredible.
¿Qué se siente?
Yo de lo mejor, súper que contento porque voy a hacer mi sueño realidad, que es lo que más...
His dream is going to come reality. That's what this Cuban says.
La Habana, ¿no?
Sin palabras, la verdad que esto es una emoción que cualquiera...
It's a great emotion. Anyone who's here could tell you the emotion that goes through our mind.
Llevo más de 80 días aquí, de verdad es una experiencia.
He was more than 80 days here at this shelter, just
Wow.
waiting for his asylum turn.
Ahí vamos
Do you mind
a
asking
cumplir el
them,
sueño
you know,
y a buscar
how it's
protección.
been over the course of those 80 days? What has life been like in the shelter?
¿Cómo ha sido la vida aquí aquí en este albergue?
Excelente, la atención, de verdad increíble. Lo que se vive aquí es otra cosa.
He says it's been excellent being here at the shelter. ¿Cuál ha sido tu experiencia?
Mi experiencia aquí, todo está bien, todo está bien.
Everything's been good.
No entiendo. ¿Tú entiendes inglés?
¿Alguien habla inglés? No. ¿Cuál fue su experiencia aquí por aquí también?
Todo bien, todo bien. No tenés que hablar, tío.
Yeah, I have no words. He says. Well, what you're looking at is here Mexican immigration agent who's basically filling up this van. There is two Mexican immigration agents. One is one is a driver. The other one is just pretty much, I guess, some sort of a custody.
Will they let you ask them any questions? Because I'm so curious about how their experience.
I was just told
I
not
figured.
to take their pictures.
Okay.
I was just told. But what you're looking
got
at
it.
is something very unique. Our HAPS News community is seeing 10 Cubans who waited here 80 days, just waiting for their asylum process. They're going to be taken straight to the port of entry in Hidalgo, which is south of McAllen. That's where this van is heading over there. But I'm going to take you back into the shelter where you can see that there is over 500 migrants waiting here. I'm going back in now.
Wow.
They had closed the gate.
Yeah.
But we have, ¿de dónde viene usted?
De Cuba.
De Cuba.
There's a lot of Cubans. Yeah.
Yeah. Sí, pero
Wow.
there's also some people from Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Sí. ¿Usted es de Venezuela?
Necesitamos de la ayuda de ustedes. Si ustedes vienen,
We need our help.
esto se puede mover más rápido.
This could be expedited, but the process is so slow.
Está muy lento, tienen 28 días que no se mueven a pedir familia.
It's been 28 days since the last time that immigration came to pick up families or individuals.
Y hoy se movieron los hombres porque ustedes de la prensa de allá vinieron. Nosotros necesitamos el apoyo.
They believe that the today's pickup for those 10 Cubans was due to the media being here, HAPS News being present here today.
Nosotros acá no
Really?
estamos seguros, somos perseguidos, nos
interesting.
secuestran. Estamos con miedo, nos asaltan, se meten en las casas.
We've been robbed, we've been extorted. Others have
While they've been at the shelter?
kidnapped as well.
while they've
No,
been at
this
the
is
shelter?
before. No, without.
Okay.
No, outside the shelter. Yeah.
Got it.
Acabas de decir que han sido muchos extorsionados.
Sí, sí, vivimos con miedo. No
Yeah,
estamos
basically, they live here in Mexico with fear.
Nosotros queremos hacer las cosas legales, las cosas bien. Hemos tenido mucho apoyo del pastor. Pero ya
We
las
want to
cosas
do
están
things right. We want to
pasando
do
más
things legal, and that's why we have received support from the pastor who runs the shelter, Hector Silva.
Las cosas se están saliendo del control, la gente está cansada, se quieren.
Things are out of control. People want to go just to the bridge.
Nosotros queremos el proceso legal.
We just want the legal process.
Nosotros estamos acá porque en nuestro país, nuestros gobernantes nos han hecho salir.
We are here because of our governors in our country and their corruption. Más un poquito despacio, por favor. She's so desperate and just wants to continue,
Absolutely.
sharing. But
well, we'll be here for a
she's
little
from
bit,
Venezuela.
so we've got
Yeah.
time. Hi, tell
Vamos a
her.
pasar
Do you
por
mind
acá
telling
tantito.
her that Haps News has
Sure.
covered a lot of Venezuelan
Sí.
stories? So
Aquí los
Sí.
latinos tenemos su
Bas-
voto.
Básicamente ha estado cubriendo Haps News, toda esta dinámica de inmigración. Y vamos a seguir cubriéndola aquí. Sí. I'm gonna now show
there are
you.
quite a few questions. The chat river has blown up
Sure.
so much. So I just want to say hi to John Jansen. Hi, it's always great seeing you here. Claire Hallsworth Classing says legalized ? So they're going through the asylum process. So whenever they go, basically they're going to be held in detention centers once they get to the U.S. side, and there is a series of steps they need to take. But I think that it only takes a few days once they get to the U.S. side. David Ney Newman is asking what country is he from. As you've heard, a lot of them are from Cuba and Venezuela. Nicole Sharkey says,
El Salvador,
wow.
Guatemala, Honduras.
See, yeah. A lot of the people, most of the refugees and migrants are coming from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. So Nicole Sharkey is asking, do they know we're watching from around the world? That'd be a great. Just let them know that there's a bunch of people watching this and that, they're interested in their stories. John Jansen has a really interesting question. Why
Quiero
only
decirles
men?
que a nivel internacional se está transmitiendo en vivo esa transmisión y pueden, claro que sí. Cuéntame, por favor, usted viene de Venezuela, ¿cuál es su nombre?
Mi nombre es Jonathan Sánchez, venimos,
Jonathan Sánchez from Venezuela.
sí, venezolano. Ahorita el principal hecho que está pasando hoy en día, nosotros queremos
The main issue is today is that they want
hacer un proceso legal,
to do a legal process,
el cual es injusto lo que está pasando, porque por fuera se nos adelantan personas que pagan un dinero a cierta inmigración o a ciertas personas que nos cortan el proceso legal.
See, basically what he's saying, or the claim is that there is a list for those that are seeking asylum, and that long list, apparently someone is abusing it by some type of corruption where they pay to be put ahead on the list. Están pagando a la gente entonces para ponerse adelante
Do you mind
Perfectamente, le
asking?
están pagando a la gente para ponerse adelante. Nosotros, como tal, porque, bueno, yo hablo por mí, pero quizá todo el mundo se lo quiere decir, queremos una persona directa de Estados Unidos que hable con el pastor directo y él puede enviar a las personas para allá, porque si hay un intermediario, eso es lo que está pasando y nos cortan el paso.
Basically, I was speaking with this gentleman before we went live, and what he's telling me is that there is now a middleman in between Pastor Silva, who runs this shelter, and U.S. immigration. Now it's the Mexican immigration system that is gotten involved, and that's why they believe their claim is that someone is getting ahead by paying a bribe to get ahead on the list.
So there's been a couple. Do you mind? I have a couple more questions for him.
Tiene una
There have been a
pregunta,
few different people
Sure.
who have asked us in the chat river. David Newman asked, who do they think is corrupt? Something along the lines of that. And I'm sorry, somebody.
¿Quién?
Oh yeah, they also asked extorted by whom. So the woman
Sí.
earlier was saying that they were being extorted and kidnapped. So who's doing this?
¿Quién es el que está cobrando?
Bueno, para nadie es un secreto que aquí se escucha y cuando se escucha es porque inmigración directamente hace los contratos con las ciertas personas de México para montar gente en la propia banda de inmigración y nos quitan nuestros puestos que estamos haciendo el proceso legal.
Yeah, basically he's saying that it is a rumor, but when the rumor, and the water in the river is there, basically he's saying that the Mexican immigration is believed to be the one that is making some deals with other people, not directly now with the administration here at the shelter, and that's how they get the money. and to get ahead on the list.
That's interesting, and I think it's really important that he specified that it's a rumor, but it's something that the group believes. So another question is, how is this
Otra
facility
pregunta.
funded? I know that this is, and that's probably a question for Hector
Bueno,
whenever we can talk to him, so we can maybe put a pin in that. But just when Hector comes back, I'll make sure I answer those questions,
sure,
David.
sure, sure. So, ¿qué número tienes tú en la lista?
Bueno, en estos momentos yo tengo el 394.
His number is 394, but earlier today when I was speaking with Pastor Hector Silva, the list goes over 3,000. So, ¿cuánto tiempo tienes esperando tú aquí?
Aquí tengo ahorita un mes, o sea, 30 días, pero hay personas que tienen más de 90 días esperando.
He says he's been here about a month, 30 days,
Yeah.
but there's others who have been here a couple of months here.
So, so 3,000 people on what list where? That's not just this facility. This facility is 500. Is this the designated border towns in Mexico that have been designated as like holding cities? Is that what the 3,000 list is?
Well, earlier today, and I have to find now Pastor Hector, but earlier today he was telling me that the list now is anywhere between 3,000 and to 4,000. That's what he told me earlier today. But he can only hold right now up to 600 at this facility.
Right.
He also did tell me earlier today that about 3 months ago he only had anywhere between 50 to 100, and now he's reaching or getting close to 600.
Wow. So there have been a couple of questions. Why are there only men? Where are the women? Crystal specifically says, where are the women? We spoke with a woman earlier from Venezuela. Are there families and children around you? It does seem like there are quite a few men.
Okay. Pastor Hector is coming here.
Oh, great.
Okay. Sí. Pastor,
Oh, look
me
at that smile.
preguntan
Hi.
cómo es, le manda a saludar. Preguntan cómo es que se mantiene este lugar, porque tiene un costo también.
Bueno, pues todos lo saben, todos sabemos que este lugar se inició, tuvimos las otras entrevistas anteriores, este lugar se mantiene por medio de la comunidad, por medio de todas aquellas personas de gran corazón en estos últimos tiempos. Yo creo que la mayoría lo sabe muy bien que nos hemos cooperado para nos hemos reunido para pagar el agua, para pagar la luz, para pagar a veces hasta para comprar la propia comida.
Basically, he's saying that the community is the one who has turned out to provide help and assistance to help pay, for electricity, for the food, but it's basically the outpour of the community.
Lo que estamos ahorita pues viendo pues que pues está llegando muchísima gente, pero también así creemos nosotros que pues este campamento queremos que siga fluyendo y que sea de mucha ayuda y de gran bendición para todos los que llegan aquí y ser claros, honestidad.
Basically, that the shelter has been filling up and continues to receive migrants, and they would like to continue to that flow of migrants and help them. Básicamente era eso, ¿no? Que quiere que sigan el flujo, ¿no?
Es que lo que pasa es que si no hay flujo, hay tristeza, hay depresión y
Basically, he says that if there's no flow, like earlier today when you witnessed those 10 Cubans, basically there's depression. People get sad. And that's why, he would like to see the flow, of the migrants moving out.
Do you
Lo
mind
que también
asking him
nosotros
about
estamos agradecidos que pues juntamente con todo lo que se está llevando a cabo y que pues a ellos se les envía hacia acá y pues con la misma promesa, así como se les dice que se vengan, se registren, sí, del puente internacional, que vengan y se registren y que esperen un momentito para que puedan entrar legalmente.
Basically, all those migrants who are seeking asylum at the bridge, they are sent over here to Senda de Vida to be put on a list. Yes, you had a question, Amber.
Yes, I did. So, can you ask him what that woman was saying earlier that I'm not exactly sure if it was that woman, but somebody said that they believe that those 10 Cuban men were going to be processed for asylum because the media was here today. And I just want to get Hector's thoughts on that.
Solamente su pensamiento. Hace rato una mujer decía que posiblemente llegó la migración porque sabía que estaban los medios de comunicación aquí. ¿Cuál es su pensar de eso?
Bueno, hay mucho de qué pensar.
There's a lot of things to be thinking about.
Yeah,
Número
absolutely.
uno, lo que se escucha, los rumores de de toda la comunidad del albergue, lo que ellos han escuchado. Yo no tengo nada en contra, ninguna autoridad de gobierno de este lado, pero se ha escuchado y se ha visto que pues lamentablemente yo lo siento. Ustedes vieron la reacción, cómo se inició y como dice el dicho, que nada debe, pues nada.
There's a lot of rumors like what that lady claimed, but you just witnessed the media showed up, you showed up, and then all of a sudden the Mexican immigration came to pick those 10. Um,
Can you ask
so
why?
I don't know
Why
what
does
to
he? I mean, I know that he's. I feel like, and this makes a ton of sense. I feel like he's probably not totally wanting to like make a broad statement on that. But if you don't mind just asking a little bit further, like maybe frame it this way: when was the last time media was at the shelter? And
Sí.
does he think
¿Cuándo
that
fue
the
la última
immigration?
vez que vino los medios aquí y tal vez pudo generar el interés de inmigración mexicana?
Bueno, ahorita tuvimos hoy en la mañana tuvimos medio de Ciudad Victoria, quien están preocupados por toda la situación que está pasando aquí en la frontera de todas las familias, los niños y por qué no hay movimiento. Entonces, lo que sí, también ellos han generado alguna información, porque pues aquí, yo quiero serte honesto, aquí lo que se hace, se sabe, todo el mundo sabe lo que se está haciendo y pues verdaderamente aquí están todas estas personas, familias que están ellos esperando su turno para poder entrar.
Sí, un segundito. He says that there was a media that came this morning from the state capitol, but we are transparent, he says, and during his conversation, that everybody knows what we do here. We want things to be done legal, the way that they should be.
Absolutely. And so there's still a lot of people wondering, are there women and children there? I haven't seen it's oh, I can see some in the crowd now. Yeah. Okay. Do you mind just asking Hector, how oh gosh, I mean like how he's dealing with this, how he feels about all of this, going from 100 to 500, 600 people in his shelter. Sí. That's overwhelming.
¿Cómo se siente? Digo, hace rato platicábamos de que promediaba usted de 50 a 100 hace unos meses, ahora ya tiene casi 600 aquí, y especialmente cuando tiene niños y mujeres.
Bueno, ahorita lo que estamos viendo para mí verdaderamente es algo indispensable. No tengo, o he tratado de pensar lo mejor.
I have tried to think the best.
Especialmente las familias.
Especially for the families.
Como seres humanos que somos, pues.
As human beings that we are.
Estar de este lado de México, ver el sacrificio de todas estas familias
because we see the sacrifice that all these families make.
Que ellos hacen para poder estar a un pie para entrar a una nueva nación.
All the sacrifice that they do just to be a step away from the border and into a different country.
Y ver, pues ahora sí que la situación que están pasando, que los niños ven el sol, la lluvia, la espera, es algo que...
So they get to see, are exposed to the elements, the heat, the cold, the rain.
Y pues verdaderamente pues lo tan lejos que vienen ellos y para ver circunstancias difíciles, ven lo que el mismo gobierno o las autoridades, estar en un país que pues ellos no saben, no conocen. Entonces,
some more,
sure.
more people who are
Migrants.
staying at the shelter.
Muchas gracias,
Yeah,
Pastor.
absolutely.
Yes,
no, thank you so
basically
much.
what
Thank
he was
you
saying.
so much.
Basically, what he was saying is that they come from a tough situation in their country, and now they're coming here, and again, it gets tougher as they're closer. Señora, ¿de dónde viene usted?
Venezuela.
¿Perdón?
Venezuela.
Venezuela. ¿Con su bebita qué edad tiene?
Tiene 1 año y 2 meses.
A year and 2 months. ¿Cuánto tiempo le llegó llegar hasta acá?
2 días. Para llegar hasta acá, 2 días. 2 días.
2 días. ¿Cómo fue el trayecto?
Bogotá, Cancún, Monterrey, Monterrey hasta acá.
Okay, so she came through Bogotá to Cancún, Mexico, Monterrey, Reynosa, and she made it in 2-day trip. ¿En qué número está usted en la lista?
Tengo el número 14. Tengo casi 3 meses aquí.
She is number 14 on the list. but she's been here 3 months waiting with her year-old little girl.
Can you ask
Sí.
her why she left
Hay una-
Venezuela? And let's start there.
¿Por qué dejó Venezuela?
Por la situación del país.
The situation that the country is in. What situation is that? ¿Qué situación es esa?
¿Qué situación es? Ayúdenme aquí.
With a laugh.
La situación que
Yeah.
todo el mundo sabe cómo está Venezuela, la delincuencia, la dictadura cómo está.
Dictatorship, safety and security, empleo también.
El empleo, todo.
Sí. I'm just hearing words from the Venezuelan community here around.
Yeah.
The majority that you're watching here around they're from Venezuela, and I can just hear them saying corruption, lack of opportunities in their country.
They're talking about
Yeah.
President
¿Usted viene de
Maduro.
Venezuela también? And dictatorships, yes. ¿Viene de Venezuela? ¿Se puede acercar tantito? This other lady comes from Venezuela. ¿Cuánto tiempo le tardó llegar hasta acá?
Día y medio.
Día y medio.
Ujú.
She got here in a day and a half. What motivated you to leave your country and come to the U.S.? ¿Qué le motivó salir de su país y buscar los Estados Unidos?
Bueno, primero por acoso político. Y segundo, la situación país que no ayuda, pues.
First, she says that it was a political retaliation. ¿Había como una retribución política? ¿Debido a qué?
Acoso político. Mi esposo era dirigente político.
¿Era?
Sí, él está allá en Estados Unidos. Tuvo que salir del país. Y bueno, lamentablemente como él no estaba, de oposición.
She says that her husband, who is now on the U.S. side, basically was from the opposition and the political party that opposes the current government, and that's why she had to leave her country.
If she can say who's
¿Cuántos
her husband?
¿Quién fue tu esposo?
No, él trabajaba en la parte de esa política, apoyo político allá a gobernadores y eso. Entonces, por estar siempre en las protestas de la oposición, fue perseguido.
Yeah, he was basically persecuted because he was always in the meetings of the opposition. And,
I'm so curious who he is. I might know him, but we don't have to belabor on that. It's okay.
¿Cómo se llama su esposo?
Ricardo Balsam. Balsam.
Ricardo Balsam.
I'm just going to jot that down.
Okay.
Okay.
¿Cuántos venezolanos hay aquí?
Yeah, perfect.
Mira, look at those hands. If you can see those hands,
they're all from
of
Venezuela?
They're all from Venezuela.
Yeah.
And of course, there's other hands I can see in the back over there. See, all the Venezuelans are raising their hand, and now they're coming over here.
Wow. Absolutely incredible. It would be so wonderful to talk with some of the younger people there, you know, the teenagers, early 20s, having that experience whenever you're that young. It's
Yes.
totally
¿Qué edad tienes?
22 años.
Okay, this is a 22-year-old right here. Is there any particular question that you have for this young man?
I mean, I would just love to know his story. Why did he
¿Cuál es tu
leave? Why is he
historia?
trying to seek
¿Cuál es
asylum?
¿Por qué te viniste y por qué estás buscando el asilo político?
Bueno, principalmente porque estoy en un país que actualmente el régimen que está allá, lo que dicen ser el gobierno no es un gobierno, es una dictadura.
Basically, the government over there in Venezuela is not a government, it's a dictatorship.
Es una dictadura que todo se tiene que regir a medida como ellos los digan. No pueden pensar diferente.
They don't think any other different way, and everything has to be done the way they say.
No hay trabajo, la escasez de alimentos, la inseguridad.
There's no jobs, the crime rate as well.
Crisis humanitaria, hospitales.
Humanitarian crisis in hospitals that are not operating correctly.
But what's his story? Why did he leave?
A ayudar a política
what's
y
his
todo
journey
eso
been
que
like?
vaya en contra del régimen.
¿Cómo ha sido tu viaje?
Mi viaje fue alrededor de 8 horas. Bogotá, San Salvador al DF.
Okay, he flew from Bogotá to San Salvador, and then from there to Mexico City.
De allí me dirigí hasta Monterrey, y de Monterrey hasta acá, hasta Reynosa, me dirigí hasta el puente y me dijeron que viniera hasta acá para el proceso.
¿Cuál es el sueño que tú tienes?
Bueno, más que todo tener tranquilidad y sentirme libre, tener libertad de expresión.
I just want to be. I just want to feel the freedom of speech, la libertad.
Sí, y más que todo ahora en esta situación que nos encontramos acá, en cuanto a la corrupción, todas las cosas malas que han habido acá, que han acercado al proceso legal.
And basically, they now come here to the border where they see corruption again.
Lo cual nos afecta a todos, porque todos queremos entrar legalmente.
Because it is affecting everyone who's here, and every one of them wants to enter the country legally through the political asylum, a través del asilo político, por supuesto.
Político, ajá. Bueno, y en la espera de esto de que nos está afectando debido a la corrupción, no sé, en cuanto a la migración o personas que también de por fuera llevan a otras personas pagando dólares y se adelantan a la lista con la cual se tiene que respetar.
¿Tú crees que están pagando para adelantarse en la lista?
Sí.
Basically, the consensus here is that there's others who are outside of this shelter who are paying to get ahead in the waiting list, basically.
That's
Well,
so
as you can see,
interesting that
this is a
there's
very,
a group of
very
people that think
large
that.
group of
Mhm.
people here.
Yeah. If there's any other, I really appreciate that talking to him. If there are any other, maybe teenagers or young kids, hi,
Sí.
who
¿Cuántos
might
años
be
tienes,
open to
mijo?
talk to us.
9.
9.
9 years
Okay, this
old.
is a 9 years old de Venezuela.
Sí.
¿Cómo estudia aquí? ¿Cuántos días tienes ya?
19. 19, ajá.
He's been here 19 days. Entonces, ¿qué
Mhm.
haces en estos 19 días?
Esperando a que me den asilo político y poder pasar a Estados Unidos.
He's almost saying, almost crying, but he says he's been here 19 days and just patiently waiting. Estás desesperado.
Can you ask him what he's looking forward to whenever his family has the chance to have asylum?
Si tuviera tu familia y el asilo político, ¿cómo crees que las cosas fueran?
Muy diferente.
Very different. He says that if we had this political asylum, it would be very, very different. ¿Usted es la mamá? Sí. Here's the mother of this 9-year-old. ¿Cómo han sido?
19 días aquí, venimos de Maracaibo, Venezuela.
From Maracaibo, Venezuela. They've been here 19 days.
Ha sido un proceso bastante largo y difícil, pero gracias a Dios estamos acá.
It's been a long process and it's been really hard, but now they're here.
Aquí nos han brindado mucho apoyo. Sí considero que es un poquito lento el proceso en el caso de nosotros, la familia.
Yeah, she believes that the process has been very slow, especially for them that they're a family group, but they received help here at this shelter.
Pero estoy 100% segura de que lo vamos a lograr, de que la vía correcta es esperar, tener paciencia.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful that we're going to make it. We just have to be very patient.
Y sí sé que hay cierta corrupción por la gente que paga para pasar al otro lado.
I am aware that there is people that are paying, and getting into corruption so they can get ahead.
Pero quiero aclarar que el refugio no tiene nada que ver con eso.
But I want to make it clear that the refuge here, the shelter, has nothing to do with this.
Eso se consigue por fuera, personas que te ofrecen hasta de la misma inmigración pasarte por una cantidad de dinero.
She claims that is happening outside, and especially she is claiming that is the Mexican immigration officials who are offering that in order to get you ahead on the list.
Nicole
le
Sharkey
pido a
had a
todos
really
mis
good
compañeros
question
venezolanos que están
whenever you have a chance, but you can finish this thought.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, Nicole
ahead.
asked, are you proud of your family for making this journey and going through this process?
¿Está usted orgullosa de lo que ha podido lograr hasta el momento?
Sí.
Yes, I am. Mijita, ¿cuántos años tienes tú? Here we have a 10-year-old little girl. ¿Qué es lo que estás? ¿Qué es lo que cruza por tu mente en estos momentos? What is in your mind right now?
Esperar, porque con lo que está pasando ahorita en Venezuela, no nos vamos a tirar por el puente porque los demás también se van a poner bravos.
I'm basically from Maracaibo, and I'm just patiently waiting here. I don't want to throw myself into the water.
¿Cómo? No.
What is that? Hold on,
Y
what
con
does
la
that
lluvia de
mean?
ahorita. peor.
La vía correcta es esperar.
No, basically that they want to wait for the legal process.
Right.
She doesn't want to throw herself into the water, meaning to swim across illegally,
Yeah.
across the river, basically. Okay.
So
Aquí tenemos otra
I'm
señora.
gonna pause you just for. Oh no, let's
Okay.
keep going.
Bueno. Sí.
Yeah. Sorry, 1 second. So we just had Juan Carlos Garcia, who is another contributor based out of El Paso, who's actually at a shelter in Juarez, Mexico. Hi, Juan Carlos. How's it going?
It's going good, guys. How are you guys doing over there?
Doing well, thank you. You sound great. Let me just triple check with our tech team.
Right.
Everybody, is the connection good in Juarez right now? Okay, awesome. So Juan Carlos, can you tell us a little bit about where you are, what you're doing? Also, please meet Victor. He is our journalist on the ground in Reynosa, Mexico right now. So
Juarez, Chihuahua, border town here next to El Paso, Texas. And
It's great to be covering the border along with you.
Right. Well, how's everything going over there, Victor?
Well, I just walked into the kitchen or the cafeteria at the shelter. There is no AC. It's super humid. It's super hot. I'm almost suffocating in here. It's very, very, very hot. There's no AC. But as you can see, there's just dozens of these migrants waiting for a meal. Ya casi la hora de comida. Sí, ¿a qué horas le dan la comida?
Mayormente es a la 1.
Okay, so they're waiting for the meal. Supposed to be at 1, but it's already like 2, past 2 o'clock.
Right.
Can you ask them what they typically have been having for lunch? I know a lot of people have been there for like 90 days, some just a few days.
¿Qué es lo que típicamente les dan de comer aquí?
Frijoles, arroz, pollo.
Rice, beans, chicken.
Standard, yeah. Where is he from? What's his story?
¿De dónde eres y cuál es tu historia?
Cubano, soy cubano. Aquí estamos migrando de nuestro país porque el sistema se ha vuelto insoportable. La
There's
convivencia
so
para
many
los
comments in the
opositores y
chat room as
para
well. Thank you all for engaging.
levantan la voz en contra a favor de
El Diablo, man, you are really laying it
I'm
on.
trying to catch bits and pieces
Calling
here.
anybody
It's
a
also
deadbeat,
a little
it's
bit
mean.
noisy.
Yeah.
It's also a little noisy in here, but basically he claims that the system is very unsupported. And they can't handle it. And also he did mention about human rights. Okay, it seems like they're gonna do a prayer for the meal.
Okay. We
And
can
now
watch this for a
they're
second.
inviting everyone.
Yeah.
No quiero compartirles un mensaje largo, quiero compartirles acerca del amor de Dios. Yo hoy en la palabra estaba leyendo en Hebreos.
Luis said, so you showed the flag of the country you run from, but criticize the country you want to get in. That's so complicated. Gregory Franklin says, do you know how much it would cost to send all of these people back? It's a really good point. Lucia Ibar says, cute hat. I agree. I think you're talking about the 10-year-old girl. She had really awesome style. Simon says, welcome to all from Minnesota. Hey, Simon. Colleen are in. Hello again. You said something about Guaido being dirtier than Maduro. I'm curious what you mean by that. Happy to hear your thoughts. Andrew said, he sounded good. I think that was about Juan Carlos. Thank you for the confirmation.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is Casa del Migrante right here. I was asking them right now if they would graciously allow me in, but the director's not here, so I'm gonna do this from the outside at least for now. But anyways, this is the Casa del Migrante in Ciudad Juarez, and what you're seeing in front of you right now, and behind, it seems to be a little garden. I'd say a Garden of Eden. It's pretty spacious. But I don't know if you can
Gracias.
see a nice little area for people here that are just relaxing. I know this shelter is at capacity. They can't allow any more people in. They are allowing a lot of donations, etc. But they're not allowing any more refugees in here. It's just simply filled to the brim.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I just came into the women's dorms. These are basically bunk beds. This is the room for the women. I can see some very few personal belongings. There's a bag of what appear to be like huge lemons, bottles of water, some juices, some towels that they probably use after they shower. I can see some little kids. Look at this beautiful girl. ¿Cómo te llamas? Ven, mijita, ¿cómo te llamas?
Oh.
Fiorella.
Fiorella. Oh, ¿de qué país viene?
De Venezuela.
Venezuela. ¿Cuántos años tienes, Fiorella?
7.
Sí, so Fiorella, 7-year-old, and other children here with their mothers in this women's dorm. I can see some toys. I can see some plastic bags, probably with some personal belongings, a backpack. I got to tell you, there's no AC here.
Wow.
You see a fan there. It's
How
very
hot
hot.
is it right now, do you think?
It's hot that it requires me to step outside.
Yeah.
It's very
Is
humid.
it high
I'm
90s?
sweating.
Is it already, has it broken
Yes,
100 on the border yet?
I'm not sure, but about an hour ago we were about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Sí, about an hour ago. So, sí, aquí está una mujer embarazada. ¿De qué país viene? ¿De Venezuela también? ¿Cuánto tiene embarazada?
Casi 8 meses.
Okay, we have an 8-month
She's
pregnant
pregnant.
lady. Yes. ¿Cuánto tiempo tiene aquí ya en este albergue?
Ya tengo 2 semanas.
She's been here 2 weeks. ¿Y qué número tiene usted en la lista?
171.
She's number 171. How long do you think it'll take to get to the port of entry? ¿Cuánto tiempo crees que se vaya a tardar para que entres al puerto de entrada?
Ay, no sé, pero yo quiero pasar pronto. Yo no quiero parir aquí porque estoy sola.
Basically, she doesn't want to give birth here because she's on her own.
Yeah.
She's not accompanied by anyone.
I would love to ask her a few more questions. Just, what is she getting the proper, is she getting the healthcare that she needs?
Está recibiendo como quiera la ayuda aquí que necesitas. Sé que estamos en un albergue, pero
Pero sí necesito ser atendida porque tengo 2 meses que no me hago ecografía.
she says that she needs to be seen by a doctor, at least to have a sonogram done, because she hasn't had that one done in about 2 months.
Is she?
No ha tenido ninguna atención.
Bueno, sí, médico, sí, me tomaron la presión, pero ya hace 2 semanas y no, sí.
The only thing that was done was just a blood pressure check about, dijiste 2 semanas, right? Hace 2 weeks ago.
Do you
You
mind
had a
asking?
question for her.
Yeah. Do you mind asking her why she's trying to seek asylum in the U.S.?
¿Cuál es la razón que estás ahora buscando el asilo?
Por un mejor futuro para mi hijo.
Basically, it's she's seeking a better future for her son.
Can
¿Ya sabes
you,
que es niño o niña?
Ask her.
Huh? She knows it's a boy.
It's a boy. Do you mind also asking just more specifically, what does that better life look like? What kind of job is she hoping to get? What does she expect her life to be like specifically?
¿Cómo esperas que sea tu futuro? Es decir, ¿qué tipo de trabajo es el que tal vez quisieras tener? ¿Cómo visualizas esa nueva vida?
Bueno, primero tener a mi hijo y después buscar un trabajo.
The first thing I want to do is just have my baby and then search for a job.
¿Cómo?
Le dije, te traduje que quieres tener tu bebé y luego trabajar.
Claro. Bueno, trabajar, porque también tengo un hijo en Venezuela que desearía buscar pronto.
¿Familia? Sí. Okay, she basically wants to find a job as soon as possible because she still has family back in Venezuela.
So can you ask her if she plans on, and what kind of job is she looking for? Does she have any
Sí.
previous experience in
¿Algún,
Venezuela?
¿Tienes alguna experiencia laboral en particular, alguna carrera, una vocación?
Soy técnico en traumatología y ortopedia.
She has worked in orthopedics before, in radiología, traumatología. So she has worked in trauma as well.
Oh, wow.
So, ¿eras una enfermera? ¿Eres una enfermera? Oh, okay, she was the assistant to a trauma doctor, basically. So
Does she
would
hope that? Go ahead. Sorry. Does she hope that
Go ahead, Amber.
does she hope that that'll translate? Is she hoping that she'll be able to, become an assistant or a nurse whenever she's in the U.S.?
Una pregunta, digo, qué bueno que tienes esa experiencia médica, pero ¿tú crees que en algún momento se pudiera revalidar para Estados Unidos?
Si Dios lo permite, sí.
God
She's
willing.
allowed to. Yeah.
God willing. If she's allowed to.
Thank you so much. Tell her, congratulations, and I wish her well.
Muchísimas felicidades. Muchísimas felicidades por tu próximo bebé. Y te deseamos lo mejor.
So, I would love to check in with Juan Carlos for a second. Juan Carlos, what's going on? I know that you're at the shelter. Are they not letting you in?
Now I'm sorry. I'm gonna turn it around. Yeah, right now I was talking to the people there, and they were like, you know what, you need to respect their privacy, and they're anonymous for a reason, and you can't be filming here and all this stuff. And then it's a sensitive subject. I get it, and I told them I'm trying not to get anybody on film, but at least let me stand behind. And they're like, all right. Absolutely. So there's some patrol officers here from local police, and they're like, they're letting me know that they're gonna basically call them over. And this is a difficult situation because right here in El Paso, we're having a lot that are sent. Once they get processed in El Paso, they get sent right back, and they're being dropped off here downtown into the Juarez, and then being sent over to either any of these houses, outpost shelters. And so this one right here, the one behind me, this one's already full. So a lot of the times they're not letting anybody else in there, but you can at least see what's going on here. Let me turn it around.
Is there any way? I doubt they'll let you talk to them, but can you talk to any of the officers? Would they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have to be on camera if they don't want to be, but I would love to just ask them a few questions for sure. Is she asking you what you're doing?
All right, let me go talk to them. You're okay. Stay here.
So, if you're just now joining us, I'm Amber Janeski, producer and host with HAPS News. We are on the ground in Reynosa, Mexico, and in Juarez, Mexico, at two different shelters that are housing immigrants who are seeking asylum in the U.S. We have talked to so many people at the Reynosa shelter. It has been truly incredible. Juan Carlos is going to try to talk to some of the officers at the shelter in Juarez so we can get their perspective as well. But if you're just now joining us, thank you and welcome. You didn't catch any of the interviews from the beginning, start over. There's a lot of value here. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. So even further context, we have been trying to effort streams out of the border towns, both on the U.S. and the Mexico side, to cover the refugee and migrant and border crisis. But it has proven very difficult. But this week has been pretty fruitful. So we went live from McAllen, Texas, at a bus station where there were numerous migrants boarding buses to be bused all around the country. Either they had received asylum or had crossed illegally and had court papers in order to show up for their processing. I'm really interested to see if this guy will talk to us, this officer will talk to us.
como le digo, no hay que tener, no hay que alegar ni nada, pero incluso los mismos migrantes ahorita
A
allá
lot of
adentro,
the people who are in the shelters today, or at least the one in Reynosa, Mexico, are attempting to seek asylum. So they're going the legal route, meaning that they are seeking refugee status, and
Oh, sí, sí.
requesting that the U.S. will give
Claro,
them
claro, y aquí estamos platicando el diálogo.
international asylum.
Y ellos te vas a hacer una cita.
Sí, ya se le dijo.
Y saca la cita
Sí,
y
sí, es lo
habla
que
con
voy a
la,
hacer.
habla con la directora.
So, you know,
Es que quise hablar con el
even more
director.
so, a lot of the people, most of the people who are fleeing, or excuse me, most of the people who are seeking asylum or crossing illegally are seeking humanitarian crises in their own
Claro, claro.
countries, countries with large amounts of violence and economic crises. We're talking Honduras, Guatemala, El
No, claro que
Salvador.
sí, yo
As you
entiendo
can see from
todo.
earlier in this stream in Reynosa, we were talking to a lot of people from Cuba and Venezuela. If you know anything about
No,
Venezuela,
no,
if you've
no,
watched any
estamos,
HAP stream that
estamos todos
I've
en
been
el
doing
mismo
over the past
equipo.
6
Estoy
months,
aquí para promover
watch
los
it, please.
derechos de todo
Venezuela is
esto,
also
porque
in
el
a
mundo tiene
massive
que saber lo que
humanitarian
está pasando.
crisis. You know, I mean, it's whenever I say humanitarian crisis, it's such a buzzword, but you know, there just isn't an economy and a system that is available to support people in these countries anymore. They're massive crime rates. It's incredibly unsafe. They can't get jobs. They can't feed their families. So they are fleeing and seeking refuge elsewhere. So something that I think is super important is that we in the media there hasn't been a ton of coverage, or like if any coverage, on the Mexican side of the border crisis. You know, a lot of the stories you see are coming out of El Paso and are coming out of McAllen and or Las Cruces, these detention centers overflowing. But as you can see at the shelter in Reynosa, this is a shelter that's intended to hold 100 people. It's holding between 500 to 600 people today. So this isn't just, you know, this is both a U.S. and Mexico border crisis. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, I will do my best to answer them. If I can't, I'll ask Victor or Juan Carlos. Victor, there are tents set up outside as well?
Que nos platique de ellos poquito.
Tiene que estar el director, la directora que está encargada para que
ustedes
expliquen. Nosotros no tenemos, nosotros no estamos
We,
and an employee there not willing to let him in. But anyways, going back to Reynosa, you can see these camping tents that have been set up. I've been here in this shelter so many times before, but I have never seen it at this level. It's unbelievable. I just with no words. And I was told that also here, I'm gonna go up these stairs. There's more migrants.
Yeah. Juan Carlos, what's going on over there? Can you tell us what you've been talking about? Is he willing to talk to us? I mean, he's having a conversation. We have plenty of Spanish speaker viewers who understand.
Okay, so what's going on here is basically here talking to the officers. The director of the shelter behind me he's not available. And so the people they're just trying to protect the integrity of and the anonymity. I'm sorry, keep things anonymous for some of these migrants, you know, that are seeking refuge. And so it's a sensitive thing. So they came and talked to the police and asked the police nicely for me to remove myself from the facility, which I understand. So I was just asking the officers here if there was anything they could tell us and how they feel about the situation. They're not allowed to comment on it, is what they've been trying to tell me. But you know,
you were
obviously,
pushing, which I appreciate.
Yeah, so at this point, what I'm gonna do is, you know, just talk to the director and try to get a meeting and hopefully set something up because this is a very important thing. I know that downtown here in El Paso, they gather a bunch of them, a bunch of Cubans gather at a certain spot waiting for their family because their family is also under review in the U.S. And once they let them go into Mexico downtown, then they reunite. They reunite right there, and they're all happy. You know?
Right.
So
You were
I know I
showing me
can
that
talk
yesterday.
and I know I can get that. But as far as I'm concerned, I won't be able to get inside right now. The officers have been kind enough to let me know that that they just don't want any trouble, and I get it. They're
He
just doing
seemed
their
very
job.
polite. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're very polite. They're nice people. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody's been nice so far, and I understand. But yeah, so that's what's going on over here, guys.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for trying. I know that, you had sent me a WhatsApp message. You're like, I'm on my way. I was like, okay, well, let's try to get you on the stream.
Yeah.
So I really
Oh
appreciate
yeah.
you making the effort, and hopefully we can
I was.
set something up and
Yeah,
see
we will.
what it's like in Juarez. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. I
All right,
appreciate it.
guys. Well, you guys
Well,
stay cool over there. You too, Victor. I know it's hot out there.
Gracias.
Pórtate bien.
thank you,
Claro que
Juan
sí.
Carlos. Yeah. See you on WhatsApp.
Okay, guys.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Okay,
Bye.
Amber, this is the original men's dorm, or the dorms that I recall from being here the
Yeah.
last time, the months
Uh-huh.
ago. Here's the little
Oh,
boy.
hi.
Uh, but let me take you to the back, because since this shelter is now running over capacity and trying to help as many as they can, they have set up these camping tents in different places throughout the place. So you can see here. Uh, let me just show you a little bit about how one of these tents
Oh,
look
wow.
like. There's a fan there.
It's good to have
I
a
can
fan.
see a sweater. I see a women's purse there. I think what I see is like two pieces of bread here to my left. I can see a little bit inside of the purse, maybe some medicines. I don't know, but look, um, we are averaging 90 to 100 here in
Yeah.
deep South Texas and in northern Mexico. These are plastic tents, camping tents. You can just think, how bad it can get being inside here. Maybe not as bad in the night, but you can see extension cords all from one tent to another, probably because they want to power their fans to at least get some air. But of course, it's not cold. Let me take you here to the back. There's a young Venezuelan girl wants to show me what her kitchen setup looks like.
Will you
So
have
esta
her
es tu
walk us
cocina.
through it?
Sí, por favor, pásale para acá y muéstrame. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Um,
La chica.
Where is?
¿Es tu esposa?
No, ella es mi prima.
Tu prima. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Leoriani.
Leorani. Ok, ¿has tú
Leorani?
hecho
That's
aquí tu
beautiful.
propia?
Oh, we
Dicen
can't
que
see your
tienes un
face.
nombre
You
muy
might.
bonito.
Perfect. There we go. Thank you.
Sí. Ok, ¿me puedes contar? ¿Has hecho tú aquí tu propia cocina?
Sí.
Enséñame lo que hay. Enséñame lo que hay.
La comida la guardamos en una cavita con hielo para que no se dañe y cosas
We
así.
can't
Lo que
quite see
hacemos
her.
es
Just
sacar
frame
lo
her
que
up a
vamos
little
a
bit
comer,
better. Please.
hacemos
Thank
y lo
you.
volvemos a meter en la caja.
I'm sorry, I'm under a roof, a plastic roof, trying to get access
That's
to her.
okay. That's okay.
Okay. Basically, she says that she's got like a cooler, like those styrofoam coolers where they keep the food with ice. Y luego, para preparar la comida, ¿qué haces aquí?
Prendo la cocina, lo que sea más rápido, el desayuno, el huevo.
So they make their eggs for breakfast here. Es eléctrico.
Ajá.
Yeah, this is an electrical burner here, whichever's easier in the morning. ¿Qué más tienes por acá?
El agua, ahí donde lavamos los corotos.
Okay, here.
Cambiamos el agua
Uh,
diariamente para poder lavar los corotos.
okay, here
llevarlos a
in the
lavar.
bottom is where they wash their dishes.
Uh-huh.
If it rains, then they put a plastic over it.
Where are they getting everything from? The food, the supplies to cook with? Like, did they bring that with them?
¿De dónde has agarrado todo esto? ¿De dónde te traen comida? ¿Cómo le haces?
Nosotros la compramos.
Okay, she says that they go out and buy it. Vas a la tienda y los
Mhm.
compras. Yes, that's what
Where is she from?
she
I think
does.
I missed that. I'm sorry.
¿De qué parte de Venezuela eres?
De Maracaibo.
Maracaibo, Venezuela.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Let me approach here, do a close up, and you can see that there's a little bit of oil, cooking oil there, salt, some onions, limes or lemons, orange juice, what appears to be maybe butter, and some milk. I don't know how that's gonna stand here for the rest of this hot day. Oye, esa es leche, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Sí, pero no tienes en qué refrigerarla.
And just,
Es
I
una
want to
cavita,
address a
como le
few people
expliqué.
in the
Okay.
chat river, Adam, and I want to ask her a few
Las
more
camas
questions. I'm
están
going to try to
aquí,
like
pero
multitask for a
Sí.
second. So Adam said, true
Vamos.
refugees don't own cell phones. That's a really grand statement. So whenever you look up what a refugee is, they're people who are fleeing their country because they don't have a
eso se
choice,
cambia
because there's
diariamente
violence,
para
because
que no
there's
se dañe la
humanitarian crises.
Se va a
It
comprar.
doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have funds to have a basic form of communication to talk with their family members.
Now you can see here the styrofoam cooler that she was mentioning a little while ago. They have to change the ice every day, of course. ¿Me puedes mostrar qué es lo que tienes ahí adentro? I'm asking them to show me what they have inside. There's butter. There's some hot dogs there, cheese.
Lucia says
There's
heart-wrenching. Thank you for watching, Lucia. And
some
also
juices.
Colleen, I still haven't gotten an email from you. Send me an email,
Some
agenuske at haps.tv.
¿Eso qué es?
Send me that article that you posted in the chat river, too.
Okay. And some cheddar cheese there. So this is
Where
some
do
yogurts.
they get the money? How are they paying
Sí.
for this?
¿Cómo es que obtienes dinero para comprar eso?
De lo poquito que me quedo.
Okay. Just from the very little that she had left in her pocket, she was able to purchase these.
How long has she been at the shelter?
¿Cuánto tiempo has estado aquí en el albergue?
Un mes.
A month. ¿Y tu número es?
242.
242, that's her number, waiting in line. ¿Y cuánto tiempo crees que te va a llevar para poder que toque tu número?
Si sigue la corrupción que hay, todavía no sabemos cuándo nos podemos ir.
She says that if corruption continues, I have no idea when I'm going to be able to leave here.
What does she hope to do whenever she? Well, I don't think I caught her age either. She looks young, like early 20s maybe.
¿Qué edad tienes? ¿Te ves muy joven?
19.
She's 19.
19.
¿Y tú?
What is she?
He's also
19.
He's also 19. Sí.
How? What are they hoping their lives to be like whenever they get to the U.S.?
Sí.
What are they looking forward to?
Me hacen una pregunta. ¿Cómo esperas? ¿Cuál es tu esperanza de vida en el futuro?
Poder pasar a Estados Unidos y tener mejor calidad de vida, ya que en Venezuela no la teníamos.
I hope to be able to cross and have better quality of life because in Venezuela I didn't have it.
What is she hoping for specifically? What jobs is she going
¿Hay
to
algo
go for in the
específico
U.S.?
algún trabajo que tú deseas tener allá?
Trabajar lo antes posible para poder ayudar a mi familia.
¿Algún trabajo en particular?
Lo que sea.
Okay, she says she don't mind any type of job as long as she has a job so that she can start helping her family.
Does she plan to send money
You're
back?
desperate.
Desesperada. Sí. No es fácil.
Does she plan to send money back to her family?
It's not. I just asked her, if she was desperate. She said, "Of course. Look at where we're living."
Yeah.
¿Esperas entonces ayudar a tu familia allá en casa?
Sí.
Yes, that's what she hopes for, to help be able to help her family back home.
Just totally got me. Just to provide additional context, Colleen had asked earlier, why there are refugees at all, and I would encourage you to go back and watch the streams that HAPS has had out of Venezuela. It provides a ton of context, but Venezuela specifically had an oil crisis that basically tanked their entire economy due to mismanagement from the government. And at that time, it just continued to plummet into what is now a humanitarian crisis. So their domination, the Bolivar, is basically worthless. I think it's like something like 10 million% inflation is on the Bolivar. So it's literally worthless. So there isn't any money to buy the food. And whenever you go to the grocery store, there isn't any food in the grocery store. And this is, and Gabrielle Saide is chatting in the back end. She says, accurate. Thank you for the confirmation. She's one of our Venezuelan contributors. And she's laughing
Leorani tells me that she has no family in the U.S., that her family is back home.
And I mean, let me take a second. Like, this is something that HAPS is here for, to be able to provide these perspectives, to be able to go into the spaces with the people who are being directly affected by these, big news stories that are hard to contextualize. You can see the number, you can read the words, but what does it actually mean? And Like, totally gonna cry, but like something that Venezuela does so, or excuse me, that HAPS does so well is go into countries and to Caracas, Venezuela, and put the phone and the app in front of the actual story that's happening, so you can see what these people are living through, and you can see what these people deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Sí.
So
Pregunta mi nombre, pregunta mi nombre.
they go to
Pregunta mi nombre.
shelters like in Reynosa, Mexico, to seek asylum in the U.S. because of the, you know, the conditions that they're experiencing there are better than what they're experiencing back home. So,
Amber.
thank you for
Amber.
that. Yeah.
Amber, this gentleman, his name is Wilfredo Sanchez, and as you can see, that's like a badge.
Mhm.
It says he's a oil worker.
Mhm.
Trabajas en el petróleo. Este. It says República Bolivariana de Venezuela. So estabas trabajando para el gobierno.
Correcto. Mi nombre es Wilfredo Sánchez. Soy un trabajador activo de Petróleos de Venezuela. Soy un marino mercante de los barcos petroleros de Venezuela.
So he works with the Venezuelan oil industry. En un barco me dijiste? In a ship, on a ship. ¿Te escapaste?
Vengo huyendo por razones de las cuales, o sea, estamos sufriendo todos los venezolanos.
I escaped basically for the same reasons that every Venezuelan is trying to get out of the country.
Yo en especial vengo huyendo no por el hambre.
I'm not escaping due to the hunger.
Vengo huyendo porque nos están obligando a usar armas de guerra
Because now we're being obligated to use fire weapons
para dispararle a la gente que está en contra del gobierno.
to shoot towards people that are against the government.
O sea, es algo que no debo aceptar.
It's something that I will never accept.
Yo le pido a la gente de derechos humanos, a la gente de la ONU,
I'm asking the UN and anyone in human rights,
que se aboquen a este gran problema que tiene Venezuela,
please give attention to this huge problem that Venezuela has.
porque personas como yo que trabajan en el gobierno,
Because people like me that work for the government,
a la cual no quiero colaborar para asesinar hermanos venezolanos,
because I don't want to participate in killing my brothers, Venezuelan brothers.
repito, le pido a gente de la ONU de derechos humanos a que se aboquen a este problema.
So I'm asking the UN and the human rights people to put attention to this situation.
Personas que no apoyen este hecho, los asesinan o los meten presos de por vida. A los que no quieren.
Because those who don't want to comply, then they want to kill them. Los quieren matar. Yeah.
Aquí tengo videos, tengo pruebas.
I have proofs in my cell phone that I bring from Venezuela
Donde asesinan a personas como yo que trabajamos con el gobierno,
that they kill people like me who work for the government.
nos asesinan o nos meten presos por no cooperar con ellos.
And they kill us because we don't want to cooperate with them.
No sé qué pregunta, qué quieren saber.
Do you have any questions, Amber?
Yeah, I do. So
unbelievable.
it absolutely is. I would love for you actually to get his contact information if you can, because
Sure will.
and if we can, I would love to be in touch with him because we're working on another story about Venezuelan oil, and it would be absolutely wonderful to get his perspective and talk to him further. So if you don't mind doing that, and I can, if you don't mind just doing that right now, just getting it out of the way, and I can address a few people in the chat river,
¿Hay algún
that
teléfono
would be
que te pueda
awesome
llamar?
if he doesn't mind at all. And I was directed, or there's somebody in the chat river, Chic Threads Alaska, has had a lot to say about this. And if you're still watching, I really appreciate the chat river communication. It is awesome to have so many people on and engaging. But I'm so curious what you would suggest happen instead. If you have any solutions, I'm here to hear them.
Are we back? I think we lost the signal. Are we back yet, Amber?
Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. And then Colleen actually has a question directly for him. And what does he think about Guaido taking over, is how she framed it. And maybe a better way to frame that is, what does he think about the interim president, Juan Guaido, potentially taking over Maduro's position?
¿Qué es lo que piensas acerca de Juan Guaidó para tomar de manera interina el poder?
Es una persona muy, pero muy valiente.
He's very brave.
Porque simplemente hablar mal del gobierno de Venezuela ya ya simplemente es tu muerte.
Because simply, if you talk against the government, it means death.
Personas como Juan Guaidó,
People like Juan Guaido,
no hay mucha mesa. Yo diría que es el segundo Simón Bolívar.
I think he's the second Simón Bolívar.
Y así como lo pide Guaidó y lo pedimos nosotros los venezolanos, apoyo internacional.
And just like he is asking, for international support and help,
Si hoy en día en Venezuela votarían por pedir intervención militar de Estados Unidos hacia Venezuela, ganaría un 98%.
he believes that if there was an election, to vote in favor of international military support, he believes that 98% would vote yes.
Hace escasamente 4 días estuvo la doctora Bachelet, que es la presidenta de derechos humanos a nivel mundial, estuvo en Venezuela.
Dr. Bachelet, who is the human rights president, of the human rights, was there in the country, and
que fue la expresidenta de Chile.
she was the former ex-president of Chile.
Ella se reunió con la gente del gobierno,
had a meeting with Maduro's staff,
y con la gente de la oposición.
and of course with opposition.
El único caso que se habló fue sobre los presos políticos.
The only subject that was talked about was about political prisoners,
Una historia de nunca acabar en Venezuela.
which is a never-ending story.
Porque como les dije anteriormente, el que opine mal de gobierno simplemente va preso o se muere.
Because if you simply just talk wrong about the government, you're going to be destined to death.
Yo pido que por medio de este medio,
I hope that through this news media,
el mundo vea
the world sees,
a través de nosotros los inmigrantes lo que sucede en realidad en Venezuela.
that the world sees through us, the immigrants, what really happens in Venezuela.
Nosotros, el país de Venezuela, de ser un país recibidor de inmigrantes, hoy en día estamos saliendo del país.
We, the Venezuelans, before, now everyone's leaving the country.
Entonces pedimos la ayuda al presidente Donald Trump
So we're asking help to President Donald Trump
a que vea, busque una solución con nosotros los venezolanos.
so that he can help us and look for a solution for us, the Venezuelans,
Que nos ayude.
to help us simply.
No sé qué más decirle. O sea,
I don't know what else to say. I'm willing to respond to any
thank you.
questions you have.
I appreciate it. I do have a couple of questions. So earlier, let me see. Where is it? He's had said something to the effect that he has proof on his phone that the government is killing people, something like
¿Qué
that.
tipo de prueba tienes tú en tu celular de que el gobierno está matando gente?
por ejemplo, tengo videos donde asesinan a personas,
I have videos when they're killing people.
la cual también podemos encontrarla en Instagram.
¿Quién está matando a quién?
Al que se oponga al
Like the
gobierno.
colectivos?
Simplemente al que se oponga.
Pero tú grabaste ese video.
No, yo no.
Okay, he says he's got videos that were passed on to him, basically of someone killing another Venezuelan. It's not video he filmed.
Okay. I want to talk to this guy. I would love to, if I know that you got his contact info, so just pass it along to me. Tell him thank you so much for, thank you. Just text that to me later.
Muchas gracias.
It's a little, thank you a lot. There is so much engagement happening in the chat river right now. I'm going to do my best to keep up with this, but if there's, and I know that we have another stream about to happen right after this that I'm going to be hosting again, which will be great. So hang tight if you want to shift gears and watch the Women's World Cup. But Victor, if there's any other, 20-something-year-olds, I would love to talk to them because I feel like this is just, they have, their whole life has been, especially in a place like Venezuela, their whole life has been a humanitarian crisis. They've been living in this kind of situation. And then I think we can probably wrap it up. But you've been doing an awesome job. Thank you so much.
There's some construction going on here outside, and it's getting very, very, very
loud.
noisy.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to show you is this is a little chapel that has been turned into just a waiting area. I know that on Sundays they have church services, but also, as you can see, some people just taking a rest, taking a nap, resting for a little bit. Basically, this place is not what I saw a few months ago. Like Pastor Silva was saying, he used to average 50 to 100. Now he's got up to 600 in this place.
Colleen, you keep asking what my email is again. It's agenuske@haps.tv. That's HAPPS.tv. I would love to chat with you directly. Is she coloring? Hi. Oh, look at that smile. Oh.
Okay, this is a 13-year-old who's doing crosswords. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Grecia.
Grecia, Greece. That's her name. Lo que haces para entretenerte un poquito de...
Sí, estoy aquí para entretenerme porque esto aquí es aburrido.
Yeah, she says that it gets very boring here, so I'm just doing the crosswords.
That's awesome.
In this place. Well, Amber, this is getting very noisy. Haps News is making this happen, letting the world know what the real situation is here in the southern border in northern Mexico. And as you heard from them, Venezuela is one of the nations that is represented here among the immigrants. Cuba, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, and let me just from a distance show you, how they bathe a little kid here in the back. This is the situation. It's really sad what they have to endure just to be on a waiting list in hopes to obtain the political asylum.
Right.
It's been a great stream today.
Yeah.
We just wanted to show you what it is on the south side of the border, and we look forward to reporting here in Haps News what is going on in this humanitarian crisis.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time and energy, Victor. This is, Victor came to me with the story, and I'm so incredibly appreciative. Thank you a ton. This has been a phenomenal stream. And like Victor said, what Haps News does is help cover the story from an empathetic perspective. You're putting phones in the hands of people who have access to tell the story head on. Ooh, that is loud. So, sorry, I'm getting a little distracted by that for a second. I'm going to take one headphone out. It's just a little loud. But thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this stream, please share it. Give us a follow on Twitter. It's twitter.com/hapsnews. That's HAPPSNEWS. We're going to continue to cover the humanitarian, we're going to continue to cover the border crisis over the next few weeks. I've mentioned this a couple of times, but damn, this has been an effort to try to get these stories off the ground. But I'm so grateful to contributors like Victor, like Juan Carlos, who are helping us tell this story. So, and Lisa Flores Burden also says, well done, Victor. David Newman says, thank you. Colleen says, thank you. John Jansen says, using the children as usual. Interesting. John Jansen, I'm so interested by your perspective. I'm curious what you mean by that. I think we're just trying to tell a large age range of people's stories. Chic Threads of Alaska says, good job. Thank you so much. And let me see. Colleen, I hope you got my email. Okay, Colleen, you're asking right now. I'm going to try. Can you hear me, Colleen? Say yes. Hang tight, everybody. I want to talk to her. Or if somebody from the Haps team could just chat her directly. I know you did earlier, but for some reason, I don't think she saw it. So, anyways, thank you all so much for joining today. I'm Amber Janeski. You can find me on social media at AGENUSKE across all platforms. Okay, Colleen just said yes. So it's also my social media. Just add @haps.tv, and that's me. You can email me there. It's AGENUSKE @haps.tv. So let me, shoot me an email. I love whenever I see repeat people in the river. I truly appreciate you coming back and watching Haps News, because what we're doing here is important. Okay, awesome, Colleen, you got it. Thank you. So I I get to be in front of the camera and have these awesome conversations, but there are so many people who help make these streams happen. Josh was here today directing and was joined by Claire, who is a director in training, which is so cool. I'm so excited that I got to meet her today. We have Andra, Andrew, Cicely, David, Drew, Frank, Josh, Max, Nicole, Mark, Adam. I think that I mentioned everybody. And so thank you all to the entire HAPS team for helping make this happen today. And stay tuned. We are about to dive into the Women's World Cup. I'm going to be hosting. I don't know a lot about sports, but hey, it's going to be a fun time. And then we also have an awesome stream tonight that I'll also be hosting. It's about a wine fight in Rioja, Spain. Interested? Tune in. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Thank you all. See you later.